Easter outside. We are live, man. Not really a nor'easter. I don't think you can consider 6 to 8 inches of snow a nor'easter. It's just an inconvenience at that point. Snowing on the East Coast. But it's hot in Jacksonville for AEW tonight. A very lukewarm show for AEW. More like a go-home show to what they're building towards the holiday episode and the New Year's episode. Don Callis was back with Kenny Omega, the world champion. He went one-on-one with Jelly Janela. Major match signed after Omega retains, one that I am very interested in. A mega 12-man tag tonight between the Inner Circle and the Best Friends and Company. Cody Rhodes and BRANDI have an unexpected announcement. And all your Dynamite news and rumors right here on your Wednesday night. This is your AEW Dynamite post show. Right here on the only podcast that matters, man. This is Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your Dynamite post show for December 16th, 2020. As you guys see, well, Jesse and I have on our AEW hoodies, man. It is cold outside, man. We ain't driving the Mustang anywhere after the show is over because it is covered in about 5 inches of snow. Jesse, what's going on, man? What are you doing? How's it snowing over there? What's the weather like over there? Is it cold?
Brother, it is a heat wave in Chicago, man. I got 32 degrees, no snow. Man,
no snow?
Ready to go outside in shorts.
No snow, bro. It's 5 inches of snow over here. It's supposed to be snowing until 4 o'clock tomorrow. I think 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And it's 28 degrees.
Nah, I heard that we supposed to get a few inches out here in the south, but I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see in the morning.
Oh, well, anyway, man, I hope you're doing well. Stay safe. How's your PlayStation 5 doing? I know you've been on the PS5 a lot lately. How's that going?
You know what? I've been making this CyberPunk thing work, man. To be honest,
I'm calling my fucking CyberBank tomorrow. I'm getting my fucking refund.
Yeah, I mean it's bad. I mean, I heard how bad it is on the old gen systems, but I mean, it's not as bad. It cuts out. I found out that it cuts out after long periods of play. Usually around the time I'm sitting there thinking, man, should I shut it down for the night? And then it'll crash. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's my fucking answer. All right, I'm gonna shut it down for the night.
How did you handle it being 7 hours of dialogue and then getting into the main story?
Man, it's
It was tough
to get through. It's tough to get through that the first act, I'd say, man, because the start of the game is all dialogue. I fell asleep quite a few times, man.
I wanted to fall asleep when I did it on Twitch. Believe me, even my audience was like, "Dude, you look bored." I'm like, No shit, right? You don't say I'm bored.
Yeah. Yeah, there's way too many choices to be made early on and everything else, and to the point where if they actually start counting later on, you just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah,
is that the point? I'm just hitting just whatever, just get. I'm picking the options that look like it leads to the most fights and shit. You know, with people like, well, should you just back off or engage? I'm like, engage, fight, do something, man.
Yeah.
I just want to get some action going on. But I think my progress said I was about 8 or 9% into it, and the action is picking up.
Oh, that's good.
So I don't know how far you made it, but
listen, I don't know where I stopped. All I was doing was fighting crime in the city, picking fights, looking in dark alleyways, and just blowing people's heads off. That's all I was doing.
Yeah, I say 8 or 9%. I think the dialogue, I mean, it eased up. I mean, by a lot. I mean, I say by at least like 50%, it stopped. And the stuff that was there, you can kind of zip through it. I mean, but yeah, man, you got to get through that early on part because it's rough. It is rough, man. It is such a fucking snoozer, man.
Yeah, very disappointing is CyberPunk. I don't want to use the word disappointing for Dynamite tonight, but it was a show that really didn't do much as far as excitement goes. Now, I'm not going to say it was a bad show because I know the AEW elitists in the chat or whoever's listening to me after the fact, you'll probably complain, bitch, and moan that I didn't like Dynamite while you love Dynamite and you're not privy to the situation of differing opinions out there. But I did not enjoy myself during this show tonight. I thought this was a filler episode of Dynamite. You guys know that I'm always going to be level with you. I'm never going to bullshit you. If I didn't like something, I'm going to tell you why I didn't like it. And if I like something, I'm going to tell you why 1,000 times over why I liked it. Jesse, what'd you think of tonight's show? Filler show, in my honest opinion. They're getting themselves ready for the 3 holiday episodes, I think, that they got coming up. And it really didn't do much as far as what they had in the last 2 episodes, especially coming off that major ratings win last week with the Sting appearance, with him in the ring speaking, and then Shaquille O'Neal, and then obviously the week prior to that one, Sting making his debut. Seems like they kind of fell off and really didn't care for a major follow-up because potentially they have something else in the pipeline ready for 2021. What do you think of tonight's show?
That's about, that's about it. I mean, it was a show that has to happen sometimes, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't expect 5-star shows every week.
No.
You can't top last week's show every week. Look, for a night like this, if it's gonna be a bunch of filler, I mean, I don't mind a night of just matches. I mean, just give me legit wrestling matches and a few promos here and there. And it's kind of what they did. They didn't really go too far into the ring work, but they did do some decent matches, and that's all you can expect. I mean, it's a 2-hour TV show. I mean, what do you want? Like a pay-per-view every night? You can't do that.
No, I didn't expect them to do that, but I just didn't really care. It seems like it was very tag team heavy. It seems like next week is going to be very tag team heavy as well. I know that they're very reliant on tag team wrestling, but I guess what it boils down to is that I want just a little bit more variety. And the variety that they showed me, with these types of shows, it seems like all the filler shows are very tag team reliant. I feel like if they're going to go down that route, just give me a little bit more variety. This is not the type of variety that I really care for, because to me there was a lot of nothing, even though there were some storylines that advanced into the next week's couple of shows, and we'll talk about what those are on tonight's show. I just felt like I didn't care overly much about anything on tonight's show.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, and especially coming off the last couple of weeks, and you had the Winter is Coming show, and they had the big rating show the week after that. I mean, as long as we don't get weeks like this every week, I mean, I'm okay with weeks like this. Yeah. I mean, this has to happen for future weeks to get better. I mean, otherwise you're gonna just go downhill every week. So, I mean, I didn't mind the night. I mean, I had some questions about some of the decisions they made, which made no sense. But all in all, I mean, it was fine. I'm not gonna call it a bad show because it's a show that has to be had from time to time.
Yeah. We're going to talk about everything that happened on tonight's show, guys. Filler episode, like I said, Jesse. And I kind of agree on that. And I do agree with him that you can't have a blowaway episode, a Sting mega debut episode every single week. But we're going to get into why this show was a very good platform for Dynamite moving forward and what they built upon for the 2 holiday shows coming up. We had Joey Janela and Kenny Omega tonight in a world title eliminator. I don't know exactly where the eliminator portion comes in, but we are going to go over that. Don Callis back with Kenny Omega. I got news on Kenny Omega. I did end up catching the end of Impact on Access TV on Tuesday. And Kenny Omega, major news in regards to him. He's going to be headlining several major Impact pay-per-views in the coming year, starting with Impact Hard to Kill. It was already announced that Omega is going to be a part of that particular pay-per-view main event. We will go over what exactly that is. Big 12-man tag tonight, Inner Circle versus the Best Friends and their friends. Again, I don't like these matches. They don't really do anything for me, but it built upon certain aspects and storylines within it, so we'll go over that. Cody versus Angelico, not really much of a match as far as forwarding storyline, but Jesse, might as well get this out of the way right now. It is definitely baby season. Congratulations to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch for having their baby girl, Rue. I do think that Cody and BRANDI now can join the list of powerful couples in the world of pro wrestling that is now going to be in that baby camp. BRANDI and Cody having a baby. Unbelievable news announced. And then Jon Moxley and Renee Paquette. You know, it's baby season, bro. It's baby season.
Yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, before I get into the joking part of it, I'm happy for everybody who. I mean, it seemed like 2020 was the worst year ever, but they came out with, you know, some fantastic news like that. So
yeah,
no, I mean, seriously, I mean, you know, heads go off to the Rhodes family and everything else, man. You can see the look on Cody's face, man.
He was very happy tonight.
For him, man.
Yeah, he was very happy tonight. You've seen it in his face.
This is his first child. We all know how family oriented he is. So yeah, he's probably through the roof right now.
So we got a baby Rhodes on the way, and we also got Adam Page and the Dark Order teaming up against the Hardys. Well, not the Hardys. I guess you could say the Hardys now, because Private Party is part of the Hardy camp. Matt Hardy and Private Party. So we'll go over all of that on tonight's show, plus that mega match that was signed at the end of Dynamite tonight between Rey Fenix and Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. And we got news and rumors on AEW as well. One in particular, which I know you guys definitely want my opinion on, and Jesse's opinion as well, the Jim Ross fiasco. What happened on Jim Ross's podcast? Apparently, certain AEW talent felt like Jim Ross was burying talent on his podcast for one reason or another due to certain spots that he sees over and over and over again, and we will go over that on the show as well tonight, plus the Kenny Omega news coming out of Impact, like I said. So thank you guys for making Wednesday night with us, yours, and I appreciate you all being here, man. We got 870 in the chat right now. Super chats are open, so if you guys want to hang out at the end of the show with Jesse and I, you can ask us anything you want. Super chats will be open towards the end of the show. I do have a very special giveaway happening tonight. I didn't really mention it on Twitter because I wanted to mention it here first. As you guys know, we are partnered with Dr. Squatch. They are sponsoring the show tonight. So if you guys go to drsquatch.com, you can use code SCRIPT at checkout and save 20% off on top of whatever they are giving you already on the website for the holiday season. If you guys want to get in on this, I am having a giveaway tonight for everybody in this chat for Dr. Squatch. All you guys have to do, this is very simple, guys. All you guys have to do is leave me in the comment section when the video publishes. All you have to do is leave me your Twitter handle and leave me a comment on any particular topic in tonight's podcast on the AEW Dynamite post show, and I will choose one lucky winner, and you guys will be getting 3 bars of soap. You're getting a basket of soaps from Dr. Squatch, and I have chosen them specifically. You guys are going to get Grapefruit IPA, You guys are going to get the cold brew cleanse, and you're going to get the Bay Rum cleanse. So if you guys don't want to be a stereotypical pro wrestling fan, then you got to use Dr. Squatch, man. DrSquatch.com. You can use code SCRIPT at checkout. So that is up to you guys. Leave me your Twitter handle and comment on anything in tonight's podcast for any story that we talk about. And I'm going to choose one lucky winner. And I'm going to announce them on this weekend's Off the Script episode 356, which I'm already getting ready. It's Monday Night Raw, Jesse. Oh, my goodness, man. The ratings. How do we fix Raw, bro? I think that's going to be the topic. First of all, Bruce, get rid of him. He's my public enemy number one. And man, oh man, bro, a 1.5 rating for Raw. I left. It makes me feel good this holiday season.
I thought it was 1.4. I think you're giving him too much credit.
Was it a 1.4?
Yeah.
I thought it was a 1.52. I listen, if it's a 1.4, it's going to make me even happy.
Maybe maybe I'm thinking of the 18 to 39. That was a 0.4.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean the 18 to 34 in which AEW beat them all 3 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, Bruce, you ain't doing a good job, bro, if you ain't getting the 18 to 34. I don't know. This is why I say the company can't be run by 60-year-old demented, 70-year-old demented fucks. But that's another story. But I will be announcing the winner on Saturdays Off the Script. So make sure you guys go and do that if you want to enter the giveaway tonight on the podcast. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit the thumbs up. We are at 263 thumbs up. Every thumbs up counts. People complain that I always ask, but you never do. If you did, I wouldn't have to ask. The thumbs up helps out the discoverability of the channel and the podcast after it publishes. So if you guys want to hit the thumbs up, you're helping us out here on the show. So hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750 thumbs up before we get out of here. So make sure you guys go and do that. Patreon is open. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. We got some great tiers of great stuff. Exclusive merchandise on the Patreon page there. So go and sign up for that. Also, if you guys want to go and get your masks, mouthmasker.com/OTS. The black OTS mask is in stock. Bonfire.com for all your t-shirts. And again, tonight's show is sponsored by Dr. Squatch, drsquatch.com. And that is code SCRIPT at checkout. Jesse, I want to start at the top. And this is something that a lot of people have asked my opinion on. I specifically saved it for this show tonight. Some in AEW are upset with Jim Ross for burying talent on his podcast. And I'm going to get right into this. On his podcast, Jim Ross said this, and I quote, and by the way, this is the Grilling JR podcast. He says, and I quote, "I told a kid the other day in AEW, I said, all you guys do the same fucking spot. You go to the outside, you cluster up like quail, you stand together, friend and foe, side by side, so you can catch some leaping idiot going over the top who never wins with this move. Then you never gain an advantage with this move. You know, the holy shit chance is what you got, and that's going. They love to hear it. Holy shit, this is awesome. It's all a spot, folks. It's all an act." End quote. So according to some sites, some AEW stars are very kind of confused. They're confused by this comment on what JR said. One wrestler provided a quote saying that they were not happy at all about Jim Ross burying that spot on his popular podcast. This wrestler, who is anonymous, grew up watching Jim Ross on television. So congratulations to him who didn't grow up watching Jim Ross that loves this sport. Moving on. And they realize what he can teach them. So it still didn't sit right when Jim Ross said this and took to his podcast and said this the way that he did. And this wrestler said this anonymously, and I quote, "Look, I know there is a lot that JR can teach us, but burying us on the show or on his podcast is only going to make us ignore what he has to say. I grew up watching JR, and he's the best, and we love it that he calls our matches, but maybe find a different way to criticize the wrestlers in the ring. Everyone is doing what they have been taught. I agree that sometimes things need to be slowed down, but that won't happen when the guy who is supposed to help us and help us, get over and put us over is going out there and publicly burying us, end quote. Now, Jim Ross does a very good job at what he does, even in his 60s on Dynamite. And Jim Ross enjoys his job, even when people said at the very beginning he didn't really seem all that into it. He settled into it very nicely. There are some things that he would obviously change, and he's always talked about this on his show. This is nothing new. And then it was revealed that Brandon Cutler was recently trying to promote this big 12-man tag. It was supposed to be a 14-man tag on Dynamite. It got moved to a 12-man tag because Wardlow had a family emergency and could not make it. And he says this in a promoted tweet on Twitter. We're going to go outside, cluster up like coils, stand there in a huddle, friends and foes together side by side to catch some leaping idiot go over the top. End quote. So I put two and two together here, and I kind of realized that it may have been Brandon Cutler who said this to Jim Ross or about Jim Ross before actually promoting that tweet. Then, I love this. This is my favorite part of it all. Dax Harwood of FTR sent out a follow-up tweet about younger wrestlers not taking veteran advice. He did not specifically reference JR, but the timing is rather convenient with this tweet. He says, and I quote, "Imagine not listening to criticism from the men and women who shaped our profession and paved a road that allows you to make a living today, all because they got their feelings hurt." End quote. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and argue what's right and what's wrong, but I will say this. Could Jim Ross have gone about it in a different way and not go on his podcast and say it? Absolutely. Could he have sat in the back privately with talent backstage at AEW on Dynamite and say, this is what you guys got to change coming from me to you, and this is what I'd like to see, less of this, more of that, yada, yada, yada. He could have absolutely have gone that route. But the thing is, I feel like Jim Ross actually did the only thing that would get people to fucking understand where he's coming from and get people to listen to him. So he went on his podcast, which is one of the biggest wrestling podcasts in the world, publicly blasted not only AEW talent that does this, you see it in WWE every single week, whether it's NXT, 205 Live, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, you name it, they all do it. AEW is not the only one that does it. This is a general statement, not only to the AEW roster. It's fucking stupid. I agree 1,000,000% with Jim Ross on this. If you don't want shit like this said about your work, then change the fucking way you work. It's fucking stupid. It makes you look stupid. It makes the people in the ring that you're with look stupid. It makes JR look and feel stupid. How do you call something like that? I know I can't stand it. I think it looks fucking ridiculous. I absolutely agree with Jim Ross on this, Jesse. And like I said, if you don't want shit like this said about your work, then fucking be better at your work. Simple.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in. So I'm gonna go over everything I have with that. I mean, I'm in the same boat as everybody else is thinking, is JR right in what he's saying? Yeah, of course he's right in what he's saying. Nobody can dispute what he's saying. And you're right. If you have a problem with what you're seeing the talent do, the platform to correct it is not on your public podcast. All right. Let's keep one thing in mind, and I could probably help put this to bed. JR ultimately has one job in AEW. One job. He has one goal in his job description, and that is to get the talent over. That's his job. So if he's going out and he's saying things like this on his podcast, that is literally the polar opposite of what he is supposed to be doing for AEW. I mean, like it or not, right or wrong in what he's saying and everything else, that's not the point. The point is he is literally being counterproductive in what he's being paid to do by saying this stuff out in public. if you think that there's a problem with the way that the talent is working, the thing to do is to not go out and publicly say it. It's to go to Tony and to go to the producers in the back, or go to a training facility and help coach and use your expertise that way, not publicly, so then everybody else can start looking at it in a negative light as well. It's your job to get the talent over. If you're seeing something that is happening in the ring that's making it harder for you to get the talent over, that's fine. You can address it and everyone will listen because you are JR. But you wouldn't see anybody else in any other company. You wouldn't see a head coach come out publicly and say, hey, man, I'm sorry, but Tom Brady's just not throwing the ball the right way. He needs to quit doing that shit. He sucks. Yeah, That's not what you do.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I totally agree with you. And, you know, not even using the football analogy, you know, let's look at who else has a podcast in the world of pro wrestling that's on a major platform. The one that sticks out to me is Corey Graves. He's a color commentator on SmackDown. I don't think you'd ever hear him say anything like that on his platform and use that platform to bring somebody down like JR used his podcast to bring that particular spot down. So I absolutely agree that he is there to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to get everybody over. But I feel like this thing has always been brought up time and time and time again. It's not even Jim Ross that complains about it. A lot of people complain about it, and nothing is done about it. I don't know why everybody that does that spot thinks that that is a cool spot or is something that needs to be in the match or is going to make the match better. I always, every single time I take my notes to talk about a particular show or a match, I always say that same exact thing. That spot looks fucking stupid. They're all standing there just looking like a bunch of idiots. Like, What are you doing? It's not even realistic.
But watch this, though. At the same time, let's take that spot and put it to the side for a second. I could sit here and watch a wrestling match, and I can dissect every last single move that happens and say, this makes no sense. Why don't they just do blank? This looks stupid because in a real fight, you would just do this. Or why would you do this when all you have to do is this? So when does this spot for JR cross the line of kayfabe and suspension of disbelief, and this move triggers him so much? He's not wrong in what he's saying, but if you look at every last single move ever done in the ring, done the right way, it makes no sense. It's fucking stupid. But it's a part of pro wrestling and being pro wrestling fans. So if, say, this spot never existed at all, I could take any spot being done in the ring on a Wednesday night or any other night and say, why would you do that? Why would you jump with him? Why would you not just lay there dead weight so he couldn't pick you up? He picked you up by your head, you have no hair, and he threw you in the ring, and you just rolled right in and went to the spot he wanted you to. Yeah. Why'd you do that? Yeah. You can't pick apart one thing you don't like about wrestling and then say this part looks ridiculous. It all looks ridiculous if you put it in the context. Yes, I understand, but this one looks blatantly ridiculous, though. Yeah, they all do. And even if he is trying to talk to them before about it and it hasn't changed, it's still no reason to go out and publicly bash them, because that's taking money out of your own pocket. If the talent's not getting over, then the show is not getting ratings, they're not making merch, you're not making the money you should be making. That's not helping anybody's cause at all. Anybody's. So it sounds like you agree more so that Brandon Cutler, whatever he said is right, and you're more disagreeing with JR. I don't agree with what Cutler said, because he doesn't have the right to question if JR said the sky is purple. Cutler needs to come out and take notes and see why it's purple. I mean, Cutler has no right to question anything JR says. But at the same time, JR could have went about that in a different way. Let's say everything he says right times 2. It's 200% right. That doesn't mean, if you have a child, all right, I have 3 kids, all right, what if one of my kids get bad grades? And I keep trying to teach them what they need to do and how they need to fix it, and they don't. So now this time I'm going to go to their classroom and publicly stand in front of the class and say, my child keeps doing stupid stuff when it comes to tests and homework. He won't get it together. It's stupid. How does that help anything?
It doesn't help anything.
It doesn't help shit. It doesn't help shit. Not one single iota does it help. It just causes friction, causes controversy, causes the other side to say, "Oh, look at that! It's not exactly paradise and and Paradise Land over there, whatever the fuck the saying is." But no, you can't do that, dude. You wouldn't see Tony Khan coming out publicly and saying in an interview, "Yeah, man, I think I overpaid for some of this talent. I don't think they're just worth the money."
Well, listen, all I know is we did not see that spot tonight on Dynamite. We didn't see that spot at all tonight. And I wonder why.
And don't forget too, a lot of these matches are produced by other people, not the talent in the ring.
Yeah.
So I know the talent calls some of the spots, but a lot of the time these spots are called by the producers. So a lot of these times these guys are just going out and literally doing their jobs, what they're told to do. And JR is back there doing not his job and exposing everybody's weaknesses.
Well, I'm glad we got all that off of our chest because, it is something that I do agree with what you're saying. I do agree with JR to an extent. I do agree with Brandon Cutler to an extent. It should have it should have been done in a different way, or JR should have went about it in a different way. But the thing is, I want everybody to get better. I want everybody at some point. I'm not saying you can't cater to the fan. Because we all love that the wrestlers take us and make us the most important aspect of the show. And I know they love those chants, and it makes them feel good. And honestly, the chants make the whole fucking show, to be quite honest with you. But yeah. I want things to be done in a way where it doesn't make everybody look ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. Even me, when I do commentary for Hog, I would never go out there and say anything like that. Specifically, and I don't really recall me ever saying, except for now. I mean, we're not really even doing anything right now, so I could say whatever the fuck I want. But I'm not going to go out there and specifically blast a talent by name. That spot looked fucking ridiculous, yada, yada, yada. I just want everybody to be better. I want everybody to take into consideration that, it might not look the best in the end, and it might not be needed for, that specific moment or that specific match, but just be better. Just be better at what you do. That's all I say.
Yeah, I mean he's right. It's hard. It's a hard topic to discuss because you can be right and be wrong.
Yeah,
he's right, but he just went about this the wrong way. He's supposed to be family. Everybody in that backstage area, everybody in the gorilla, everybody even in the back are supposed to be family. And you take care of family business amongst family. You don't come out and just spray the family business out on your podcast. You're supposed to be getting these guys over. If you can't get that spot over, it makes sense that you can't get that spot over. Tell the fucking talent to quit doing it. You're Jim fucking Ross. You got the pull to do anything back there, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know who wouldn't have said something like this, Jesse?
Anybody.
Morrow.
Yeah, Morrow. Well,
Tony, listen, bro. Boss man, get him on the phone, bro. You got a second show? He's back and doing his thing. Get him on the phone. He's a big name. He's got his own podcast. He's on Showtime Boxing. He won't go out there and say any of this shit. Get him on the phone.
Nah, but that's part of the reason JR got hired. JR got hired because he'll say what he feels.
Well, JR got hired because he's JR. He's one of the greatest that's ever done it. But JR got hired because not only of his familiarity to the casual wrestling audience, but I said it from day one, JR got hired for his brain. JR got hired for his knowledge. So he should be using that more so than what he's doing. And like you said, should be taking these young kids and talking to them about what not to do and what to do to make the show better.
Make the show better. Yeah. I mean, do you think Tony Khan has no critiques of the talent that he's paying all this money to? I'm pretty sure he's been critiquing up and down the locker room, but he doesn't come out and do it publicly. When somebody asks, he says, "Yeah, they're doing great. We're gonna try this. We're gonna move this. Things could be better, but we're working on this." You don't come out and say, "Man, this guy sucks at this."
Yeah.
I mean, he is the worst at that. I mean, he is bad. Don't you hate it when these people do this? And then you see, the thing is, you get casuals that tune in from time to time and they'll listen to something like that and then say, "He's right. This is fucking stupid. Why am I watching?" You want to bring the ratings up, man. Come on. That was just a bad move. I'm going to call it a bad move by JR. and not being able to argue with anything he said, not a single word he said. Still a bad move by JR. So it's a bad decision.
Well, that's that, guys. We got that off of our chest, and we're going to go into the rest of the news towards the end because it's a lot of Kenny Omega news and what Kenny Omega's doing with AEW, the World Championship, Impact, and etc. But let's get into the actual show. The show opened up with Matt Hardy and Private Party, Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, and they went up against Hangman Adam Page, the Dark Order. This was John Silver and Alex Reynolds. This was a good six-man tag. One thing that I noticed, Jesse, is, and I'm not sure because I don't really pay attention to the little script that they have above the nameplates when someone makes the entrance, but it said something about them having their first trios match on Dynamite, and they had a 0-0 record as a trio. So, when I seen that, I'm like thinking to what we talked about as far as trios and trios championships. It seems that definitely AEW is getting the ball rolling, and I think in 2021 we start to see those championships roll out. That was just a little thing that I was thinking about during tonight's show when I seen that little stat pop up above the nameplate. I don't know if you've seen that tonight.
It happens every week on Dark. I keep telling you.
I don't watch Dark, man. Come on. It
happens every week on Dark. I keep telling you that.
Christ.
You don't pay attention.
Fucking guy, man. I'm gonna have to dump him.
Every week on Dark. That's why that's how I kept bringing it up. You didn't even have to watch. I keep saying every week. Look, whenever they have six-man tags, they put the trios records up there with the titles, and you're like, oh, okay. And then this week you're like, hey, look at this. So this week they put these tags up on the titles.
Well, I seen it for the first time. I don't watch Dark.
Oh God. No.
Now it's on Dynamite. Now it's important to me. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, this was a very good six-man tag. Really nothing special about it, but the main thing here is two things. Number one, Matt Hardy seems to be healing it up. I don't know if it's to make Private Party, a little bit more intense or a little bit more just out there as far as being physical, or if it's just Matt Hardy doing Matt Hardy type things and we don't know what he does because he's always doing something different, trying to keep the fans guessing. I don't know. But Matt Hardy was definitely healing it up, especially at the end of this match. And Adam Page with the Dark Order, they seem to work very well as a team together tonight. And Adam Page definitely seems to be on the right track. I don't know if he's going to have this big babyface comeback story in 2021. It's certainly, there for him to do per storyline. Or if he's going to be a part of the Dark Order, if this is going to be something that Brody Lee comes back and has a problem with, and we lead to a Brody Lee and Adam Page match. I don't know where it's going, but I'm very interested in what Page is doing right now. I do feel like he's kind of taken a step back from what was going on with Omega, but he's still kind of in the spotlight. But I'm intrigued with what's going on there. We got the team of Hardy and Private Party winning in this thing. So towards the end, Page took out Cassidy with a big lariat. Hardy made a blind tag, hit a side effect for a 2. Page fought out of the Twist of Fate and reached Reynolds for another hot tag. Reynolds came in, flurry of offense, forearms, neck breaker, and then he and Silver and Page hit a nice combination of power moves. Reynolds had the match won, but Hardy pulled him out of the ring before a 3 count was made and hit Silver with a Twist of Fate on the floor, and that looked brutal. And then Reynolds was isolated in the ring as Private Party hit him with gin and juice, and then right before the cover was made, usually they go right for the cover and the win there, Hardy tagged in, and he made the cover off of Private Party's gin and juice, and he pins Reynolds for the win. So that was that there. Jesse, what'd you make of this? What do you think of the Matt Hardy healing it up type of situation? And what do you think of Page and the Dark Order on tonight's episode of Dynamite?
Well, Matt Hardy's been healed for weeks on BTE, man.
All right, bro. This is an internet show. We're talking about the TV show now, okay?
This is one of the
995,000 viewers to what? 200,000 views? Give me a break. Come on.
Yeah, this is one of the instances where the storylines on Dark and BTE are kind of carrying on into main TV because Matt's been healed for a while now on BTE, and they're doing that. They're kind of just I don't want to say advancing, but implementing small little curves. I wouldn't say full turns, but small curves on BTE and Dark, and they can carry on onto the main television show. I kind of like that. I mean, because if you don't watch it, you're not missing something. But if you do watch it, you kind of get a heads up about what's coming. So I kind of like that about the show. But yeah, they're kind of pushing this Hangman Dark Order thing. I think they took a turn with Hangman's booking when they decided to go a different way with Kenny. You know, because I think they just up and decided, okay, we're gonna put the titles in the Bucks, we're gonna put the title on Kenny because it's what everybody's complaining about. So I think that was a change in direction from where they were going with Hangman and Kenny. At least it's gonna put a pause on it for a while. So where they're going with Hangman now, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna help use him to keep the Dark Order relevant while Brody Lee is out. I'm not sure.
Well, I still do see even now, even though it's way too early. Because Omega's going to hold that title for a very long time. I still see Page being the one to take that title from Omega, even now. I think it just tells a beautiful story.
He could be. I think. I mean, if I'm a betting man, I think they're going to line up quite a few suitable opponents to take the title from Kenny, so he doesn't look like such an unbeatable champion. So you always have Moxley there. I mean, you can easily put Hangman in that spot, and they got a couple of guys hanging around that can be thrusted in there. It looks like they turned Pac full babyface, so he's an immediate contender for to take that title from.
Yeah, but he's so good at what he does. You know, when he's a heel, he can be an absolute fucking prick, which everybody still loves him anyway. And even when he's babyface, he's still an absolute prick, which is fucking great.
Absolute prick. Yeah,
so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really, especially with his, with the limited crowd. Everybody loves Pac anyway. He always got that type of mixed reaction, so it's good to see him in that role. But yeah, I agree with Paige on that. Listen, man, I'm still hoping for this Brody Lee come back here to Dynamite and him and Paige go out. I still think that's going to be a mega big fucking Haas type of match. I'm just very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, I can see that coming. That should be interesting. I kind of like too. I kind of real quiet about Brody. We have no idea if he's coming back next week or next year. So
yeah, they'll probably introduce him again next year. No reason to rush him back now.
Yeah, I can see that.
Inner Circle was interviewed about MJF's New York Times Best Performance Award for the Dinner Debonair. MJF was then asked by Alex Marvez about this honor, but Jericho emphasized that he created the Dinner Debonair, and he was the co-star. MJF said that the Times got one thing wrong. He couldn't have done it without Jericho. So MJF then sarcastically said that he sees Jericho as a mentor, and he is the greatest of all time. And most importantly, Jericho is his best friend. Through gritted teeth, Jericho said, "Congratulations" to MJF. So I love the back and forth between these two. And MJF, man, seems to just be taking all the praise for everything that's going on right now in the Inner Circle, man. What's going on there?
I'm gonna stick with my original prediction, man. I still think they kick out Jericho, and MJF runs the crew, Sammy and all. I think they all kick him out, a la Bullet Club style.
I'm going with it. I like it. Hopefully it happens.
Yep.
We got a video of BRANDI and Cody announcing that they are expecting a baby in 2021. Very well shot here. Something that they did in their home. Present was delivered to the front door. Nobody was there when Cody answered the door. He sat down with BRANDI on the couch. They opened up the gift, and inside the gift box was baby shoes that said, that they were having a baby in 2021. So from Jesse and I, congratulations to both BRANDI and Cody Rhodes on their expecting baby in 2021. Very, very good news there. Cody Rhodes.
But what do they do with the BRANDI and Shaq and Jay Cargill storyline? Oh no!
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe
we gotta fucking scrap it.
Well, I don't know. Well, BRANDI will not be able to take a bump, which is not the worst thing in the world.
Scrap it. And what about she can't drink on her YouTube channel now either?
Well, listen, that's why she has guests.
No, man.
She can make the drinks. She can show everybody how good she is at making the drinks, but she can't drink the drinks.
If they drink, see, I guess like Chris Statlander. Did you know that she doesn't drink? Did you know that?
I did not know that. I didn't watch that particular episode.
Sammy doesn't drink. Do you know that?
Good on them. Drinking is a bad habit.
Maybe you should watch this stuff, man.
Listen, man, I got so much on my plate, bro. Give me a break. Come on.
No fucking pumpkin ales for them, bro.
Listen. If I'm there, bro, pumpkin ale is on the menu.
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway.
Not for the alien. Aliens don't drink alcohol. I learned that week.
Well, they have to. It would make them more intelligent, I hear.
I don't know, man. I believe her.
Listen, this Shaq thing, man, he got one of the highest rated segments in Dynamite history. It was a 1.2 million watch Shaq on Dynamite last week. So you're saying scrap it?
Scrap it.
Get rid of it. Scrappy Doo.
Scrap it. I thought it was lame anyway, the way she came off on it. So they'll just restructure it, dude. They'll find something else for Shaq to do.
Scrappy Doo. Get rid of it. Moving on.
What were they leaning towards? A mixed tag match with?
I don't know, man. The less Jade Cargill, the better in my eyes. Who gives a shit? Moving on. Cody Rhodes versus Angelico. The commentary team put over Angelico big in this match. Hailing from South Africa, a submission specialist. They went over how dangerous of a performer he is in the submission arts. This was about 10 minutes. He owned Cody for most of this match. And Cody got out of a sticky submission situation, hit some clotheslines, power slam into a near fall. Angelico had Cody in a full body hold. Cody had to bite the bottom rope to get out of the hold. Cody responded with a backslide and then a huge shot to Angelico's face. Angelico hit a death roll submission, the Navarro lock, I believe he calls it, which Cody was able to get out of with the rope. It was the Cody cutter for the win. And that was 10 minutes. Cody wins over Angelico. Decent match. Nice spotlight shine on Angelico, Jesse. But the story of the match was what happened in the end. Team Taz came out for a post-match promo. They called out Cody, and they called him Turtle Boy in the stands, a.k.a. Darby Allin. Team Taz then walked to the ring, and the lights went out with Sting emerging with the snow falling at the Daly's place to make the save. He pulled out the baseball bat and threatened 5 guys who could not beat up one Sting with a baseball bat. Sting then looked at Cody. He then looked at Darby, winked at Cody, and then looked back at Darby again. Sting shows up for a 3rd week in a row, Jesse. What the hell happened here? And why don't we have an explanation as to why Steve Borden is on Dynamite? What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I'm looking for all the people who told me to be patient and wait. And that because now we're in week fucking 3, the guy came out and did nothing.
Listen, I will admit this. There was absolutely no reason for him to be there.
None. It would have been more interesting next week.
Yeah.
If he had not showed up here this week.
Yeah.
This was a waste. Not only was it a waste of time, because now I'm thinking that, well, since he's here, why isn't he telling us what his plan is?
See, I don't really understand the logic in this because, you know, Sting is Sting. Nobody's going to forget about Sting. People are still talking about Sting's debut on Dynamite. It's probably the most viewed video on their YouTube channel. So they're not going to forget about Sting. I don't know why this was needed on tonight's show. I feel like giving Sting the week off and then having him, you know, just wait till next week or the week after to do this shit. I get that they want to build intrigue, but you aren't building intrigue by keeping him silent and pulling out a baseball bat and threatening 5 guys who then walk away because 5 guys or somehow can't defeat a solo Sting with a baseball bat, which is fucking ridiculous. I don't know what type of intrigue they're building here. I think it's gotten to the point now where it's like, all right, enough. We need something. Give me like a fucking cookie crumb of a morsel as to why you're here and what your agenda is. Please. Something.
Yep.
Listen, I'll say, if this was WWE, I would be saying the same thing. You can't wait too long. The fucking fan base has the attention span of a fucking housefly. Give me a break.
Yeah. It's starting to sound like that they didn't have a real direction or a plan.
No, I think they have a direction. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that direction.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, man. Because between last week and this week, we should know something. We should know something. It's getting to the point where we're starting to not care anymore about what happened that winter is coming. Just okay, fine, whatever. What are you doing next then, Sting? I mean, just who are you wrestling? Are you managing Darby? It seems like he got a man crush on Darby. I don't know if he wants to manage him or fucking sleep with him. I don't know what the fuck is going on with him and Darby. I mean, nobody's explaining shit.
Yeah, so does he want to manage him? Does he want to mentor him? Does he want to match with him? Does he want the TNT title? Does he want Cody in the ring? The fuck does he want?
What does he want? What does he want? They're fucking.
Does he want to play softball with Cody and Darby? I don't know. What the fuck does he want to do?
They're holding back Will Hobbs. They're holding back the strongest man in the locker room from beating the shit out of a 60-year-old man with a bat. I mean,
I don't know, man. Hopefully in the new year we find out something here. I think we will, but like I said, if this was WWE, I would be saying the same thing. I'm telling you guys now, I'd say it to them. You can't wait too long. WWE tends to wait too long, and then at one point or another, we just don't care. We stop caring.
Yeah, it's being drugged. Now we're going into week 4, which means it's a month, which means Sting came back a month ago, and we're still waiting to find out what the fuck he wants.
Yeah. So maybe it's something to do with Revolution. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but Sting was on the show tonight. Not advertised, really. They didn't really heavily advertise Sting being there. He just showed up. You know, it was a inset video graphic or graphic in the Dynamite show tonight that said Sting was going to be here tonight, but we didn't really know if he was going to be there or not before the show, so they didn't really hype his appearance. He was just there. He didn't say anything. So it is what it is. You know, we'll find out what happens in the weeks to come. Hopefully, AEW and Tony Khan has some sort of concrete plan for Sting, and they do not make a WWE mistake here and wait too long. Otherwise, people are not going to care. Speaking of care, Miro was interviewed. A lot of people don't care about Miro either, but Miro has shown a lot of intensity as of late, and they're starting to really get a good sense of that Bulgarian brute that we seen early on that we really fell in love with in WWE. It was revealed that Miro injured 3 AEW staff members, and he's going to be fined $75,000. Obviously, this is all kayfabe, quote unquote, $75,000. Miro said that is a problem, but his problem is with Orange Cassidy, and he doesn't care about anything else. And the only important things right now is Orange Cassidy. He doesn't care about subscribers and ratings, Twitch. He doesn't care about none of that. Only Orange Cassidy. He said he'd face Sonny Kiss on AEW Dark next week, and Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford would announce their wedding date on next week's Dynamite. So I don't know how that's going to work out there. Again, I'm not really interested in Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, but Miro fined $75,000, Jesse. I might actually tune into Dark just to see the devastation of Sonny Kiss next week.
Yeah. You can watch that every week.
Should be a bloodbath. Good.
But he won last week. Let me ask you this. Why is Miro so mad at Orange Cassidy?
Maybe he don't like oranges. I don't know.
Like
maybe Miro is a fan of apples or tangerines, even though it could be mistaken for an orange. Or maybe he likes tangerines. Maybe he likes grapes. Maybe he likes strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, cranberries. Maybe you don't like any fruit at all.
He seems to have this just over the top heat with this guy for no reason at all. I mean, like he's ready to kill the guy, but like, why? What did he do? Maybe Chet can help me with this. Who knocked over that arcade machine in that match? Was that Orange?
Yeah, I think someone threw Kip Sabian into that.
All right, so I mean, then this is all over his arcade game or something. I'm trying to find out why he hates Orange Cassidy so much.
Maybe Orange Cassidy reminds him of somebody that sat in Stamford, Connecticut at Titan Tower in the creative boardroom meetings.
Okay, so it was Trent. Chad said it was Trent. So he got a reason to hate Trent. Why the fuck does he hate Orange Cassidy so much, man? That's my problem with it. It seems like he's just mad at Orange Cassidy just to have a relevant feud.
Listen, man,
just to have a feud.
Maybe Miro hates Orange Cassidy because Orange Cassidy's laziness reminds him of the lazy creative writing on Monday nights. That's got to be it.
It seems like a reason to want to match with him. I still don't know why he hates him so much, though.
Maybe Miro wants to order edible arrangements for Kip and Penelope's wedding, and he can't do that because Orange Cassidy is somebody that trademarked the name Orange, and he can't get oranges in the fucking edible arrangements. I don't know.
He has so much fucking heat with Orange Cassidy. One would think Orange Cassidy was dating the woman who keeps putting his wife through a fucking table every week.
I don't know, man. Listen, I don't know. I don't know why they hate each other. I just want it to be over with. I genuinely, this is one of the things I don't give a shit about. I want to care about Miro. I do. I hope there are bigger things in store for him in 2021. I think Orange Cassidy's the biggest breakout star in AEW all year. And I'm even going to say more than Kenny Omega because even though he's the world champion, we all know Kenny. But you want, young talent at the bottom that you wanted to be a superstar in the making. Orange Cassidy was definitely on that trajectory this year, no question. Him, Sammy, Jungle Boy to an extent, MJF. So they did their part. But I can't find myself to give a shit about them, this match, or the fucking wedding. I hope to God that Miro fucking crashes the wedding, fucking destroys the wedding, because he has flashbacks to how bad the fucking wedding was with Lana and Bobby Lashley, and he just breaks out and says, fuck this shit, I'm back, bitches, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just kind of, look, when they put him with Kip, they kind of it's like putting a big anchor on his leg, keeping him in one spot because he is never going to go anywhere. And he looked like a beast the other week, and he still looks like a beast that's with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. So that pairing is slowing him down big time. It's hard to take him serious in anything that he does because I keep imagining him down there with Kip Sabian.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you pair Miro, somebody that we all genuinely want to see succeed, with somebody that is fucking boring as dishwater. Kip Sabian.
Let me ask you this, because now it's starting to become a relevant question since we've had time away from it. But was it the Rusev gimmick? Was that the reason that Miro was over? In that one lightning in a bottle moment with the Rusev Day thing getting over, was that the only reason that he was over? Because he's having a hard time getting back to that level.
Well, to be fair, there really isn't. I mean, we heard that type of reaction when he came out the first time. They just haven't booked him in a meaningful way. Is he a beloved babyface? Do they want to make him a heel? The fan reaction, they really haven't built off Miro Day or anything. They went with his video game route. I mean, is this what he wants to be known as? A fucking Twitch streamer, video game geek? I don't know. How many fucking people are doing that shit? And it just comes off corny as shit. Like, what are they doing with him? I don't know. But he got that type of reaction. Obviously, he's not going to live up to what Rusev Day did because, that was the most popular thing in WWE at the time. And then Vince McMahon said, oh, this is not on my fucking itinerary, pal. Gotta get rid of it, pal. So he'll never reach that height again. But if they let him go out there and do what he's got to do and be himself, he probably could with a live audience there.
Could be, but you know what I think he needs that's going to get him right over right away?
Lana.
Yeah, he needs his fucking wife. Yep.
He needs Lana.
Yes, he needs Lana. Yes. He needs his wife with him right now, and they will both be over.
Lana, by the way, who pinned Shayna Baszler twice. Okay?
Yeah.
Twice. Pinned Shayna Baszler. I don't know why I'm talking about this now because it's the fucking AEW rule. I'm gonna rant about this on Saturday. Pinned Shayna Baszler twice only, Bruce, to be taken out of this tag team title match on Sunday. And now you leave Asuka with a fucking tag team partner that will be named on Sunday. And my fucking skin is crawling with potential fucking people to team with Asuka.
Be the queen or all red everything, man.
Oh, my God.
Yes, one or the other.
Oh, my. Can you imagine Charlotte Flair coming on in and doing absolutely nothing and winning a tag team title with Asuka because she sat at home and watched Bayley and Sasha do the same thing, and now she has to do the same thing with Asuka, which will then lead to their match at WrestleMania. God help our fucking souls on Sunday night, folks. I'm telling you right now.
And Becky was in the headlines in the last few weeks for having a baby. Charlotte's not in the headlines.
Well,
how do we get Charlotte in the headlines?
Well, maybe we should call up Andrade. I could see another 9 months of fucking beautiful bliss without Charlotte on TV. Bro, what are you doing? El Idolo, what are you doing over there, bro?
Let me tell you something. I firmly believe Andrade is shooting unprotected blanks in the Queen, man, every night. I'm sure he is trying to knock that one up as fast as he can, man.
Maybe I should send Andrade some Blue Chew.
There you go.
You know? Bro, I know you're going to need it, man. Let me tell you. I know you're going to need it. Listen. Lana, definitely for Miro, but my God, can you imagine writing a fucking awful storyline where she pinned Shayna Baszler twice and then was taken out, and that's your payoff? Her getting injured?
That's pretty bad. So she can't even capitalize on any of that. That was just...
Ask for your release, and then wait your 90 days, and then go join your husband in AEW. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's going to be the best. If she joins him over in AEW, they could, and you got to break him away from Kip. They could be the AEW version of Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Yeah, they could.
Easily.
They could.
So
anyway, that's our thought on Miro. Absolutely agreed. I was paying attention to the show, but I wasn't really going back and forth with Jesse because I wasn't really interested in said show, but I was thinking the same thing. So that's good. I think I love that idea, but I doubt we see that in the next 4 years where she will be handcuffed to that contract. They ain't letting her go because they know.
They know where she's going.
Yeah. Eddie Kingston, he knows as well, and we know that he can cut a great promo no matter what. Walked out to the ring with a microphone. Kingston started by saying he doesn't care about anyone. He's here to address his enemies. Number one was God. So there you go. Eddie Kingston has God at the top of the list, the enemy list. Number two
That's
is...
going to hell for sure.
Yeah. Number two is Pac. He said, no worry about him, though. His career has been ended. And then he called out Lance Archer. Archer came out and beat up...
We're not going to fucking bruise over that. They got to and cut a promo on God.
Listen, he could cut a fucking promo on whatever he wants, man. He said not to worry about Pac. His career has been ended. And then he called out Lance Archer. Archer came out, beat up Kingston, beat up Butcher, beat up Blade. And Pentagon and Phoenix came out. Pac then emerged after Eddie Kingston said his career was ended. Death Triangle and Archer then took out Kingston and his entire family. Archer and Pac squared up in the ring. They were upset because they wanted to both beat up Eddie Kingston, but no physicality after that with them in the ring together. That's an interesting match, to say the least, Pac and Lance Archer, but let's move on from that because I don't think that's happening at the moment right now. Pac is back. He was off TV. I know we asked this last week on the show where Pac was and why he wasn't on Dynamite last week. I got the answer. Of course I do. Pac was not on the show last week because he was actually in the UK and he was with family. And that's it. This was exclusively reported by bodyslam.net, and they had fans asking where he went and what happened, and he was with family. That was it. He went back overseas to hang out with family, spend time with family during this holiday season because he's going to be at work doing whatever he's got to do for AEW. And Pac is going to be a big threat in 2021. So traveling from the United Kingdom, obviously still a complicated situation right now during the pandemic, but AEW still is factoring him into major plans on their show, which is always a good thing. So I'm glad he's not hurt in any which way. So that's the reason why Pac wasn't on the show last week. Dustin Rhodes was backstage. He was asked about an offer from the Dark Order. Rhodes then cut a very fiery promo, which was awesome. And regarding Evil Uno's offer from last week, Dustin said that 7 is still a bad idea. It was a bad idea then. It's a bad idea now. He said that every single member of the Dark Order will fall, and next week he'll face Uno. And Jesse, I'm actually looking forward to this match very much so because I will say this, and I always said this, no matter when I'm talking about him, Evil Uno is fucking awesome. Number one, he's a great
Yes.
pro wrestler. And I love him and Stu Grayson together, but I think he's very good on his own. And I'm looking forward to this match just based off this promo and based on the storyline. One of two things here I'm thinking about. One, this is very similar to what WWE is doing with Ricochet and Ali with Retribution. But the thing is, Dustin is going to beat everybody in the Dark Order, while Ricochet is losing to everybody in Retribution, only to get that mega match with Ali, which I don't know what is going to do or what good that's going to do Ricochet, because I honestly feel being in Retribution is probably better than whatever they got Ricochet doing right now. So that's that. Number two. And this, with Dustin, I feel like, again, when they do it and when they want to bring it back, I think the Rhodes family is going to be against the Dark Order in that blood and guts match. And I feel like Dustin is kind of kicking this thing off by going and doing this all on his own and kind of going through the Dark Order one by one. I don't know what you think, man.
Nah, I don't think Dustin's gonna go through the Dark Order is over as fuck, dude. He's not gonna go through the Dark Order. But I'm gonna go back because I forgot to ask you one question about the last segment. Lance Archer. What to assume he's babyface now, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How is that gonna work with Jake Roberts as his mentor? Because that's just that's just weird.
That's a very good question. I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that. Hopefully they can come up with something. Lance Archer to me is a badass anyway, so he's always going to have that type of aura about him. So having Jake there, even if he's a babyface, I don't think is going to take away from that. Jake can still be Jake. Lance Archer's obviously going to be Lance Archer. So I don't really see him being a fluff babyface like Braun Strowman, because, you know, Braun Strowman is fucking awful at what he does. But yeah. With Lance Archer, Jake Roberts wasn't even there, by the way, tonight, because he was taken off the show for a non-COVID related illness, is what I read before the show. So hopefully all is well with him. But Lance Archer, Jesse, he could talk for himself. That's the best. That's a very good quality to have. Obviously he's going to benefit more with Jake, and Jake is a great talker even now in his age. But Lance Archer could speak for himself as well. So even if he wants to be a babyface, I don't necessarily think he needs Jake there all the time.
That's fine and all. I can see it working, but they have to sever that relationship still. If he's going to be a legitimate babyface, because I'm going to look at Lance Archer as he's not beating up anybody when he comes out anymore. You can't have him, you can't have him come out with Jake, have Jake cut a Jake promo, and he still come off as a babyface. I think it's going to be a serious issue to address as it pertains to his babyface run right now, unless it's a quick turn.
Well, listen, I don't think they're going to do anything with Lance Archer because, it says it right in his theme song, everybody dies. So why would they do anything with Lance Archer where people don't die?
Well, he didn't kill anybody tonight.
Well, maybe he's saving if Eddie Kingston. I don't know.
See, like we just said about Pac, he's face, he's heel, he's the same pack. All right, they want to turn Archer babyface. He still needs to murder somebody coming out to the ring. That's just what he does. Sorry.
Well, listen. This trios match coming up. Very interested in this. Penta and Phoenix and Pac versus Kingston and the Butcher and Blade. I think it's going to be awesome. Or I don't know. I don't know where Lance Archer fits into this necessarily. Maybe he gets his match with Kingston and we get the trios match between those two factions. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. So we'll see what happens.
I wish they had a more definitive turn for Pac and Archer. That could have been a big moment, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was a real passive, soft turn, which can work too, but I don't know. It just would have been cool to have a big turn on him, but we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I don't know what this shit is going to happen and how this is going to happen with Jake. So, I don't know, man.
Moving on from that, we'll figure that out later. I'm just very excited about that 6-man tag coming up between those two factions. Lance Archer is always going to be Lance Archer. As long as he is in that monster role, everything's going to be good. The Inner Circle versus the Best Friends and Friends. So this was supposed to be a 14-man mega match, and Wardlow was not able to make it because he had a family emergency. So hopefully all is well with him and whatever he has going on with his family. So this got bumped down to a 12-man tag team match. Still not the best setting for this particular wrestling fan who is the host of this show. I don't know what Jesse thought of this match, but it was fun for what it was. Doesn't really serve any more purpose than, what we seen tonight. We got the best friends mingling it up with Santana and Ortiz. They had that classic, street fight on Dynamite several months back. So they obviously played up to that match and what they did beforehand with Trent's mom. She got a new car, by the way, so good on them. Out of that, we got the MJF situation with the Inner Circle. Sammy and MJF obviously going back and forth. We got Pillman Jr. here in this match with his new tag team partner, Griff Garrison. They got some spotlight here. Top Flight was in this match. They got some spotlight. Top Flight really stood out in this match more than anybody else, if you ask me. Dante Martin of Top Flight got tagged in. Sammy got on the attack first on Dante. Martin was able to counter, get some offense in. Darius then got the blind tag, continued to work on Sammy, speeding things up here. Inner Circle was in control of this match. As they went to commercial break, they were taking down Trent. So they were on the offensive attack against Trent. He dodged a Sammy move off the top rope, got a second win, started to make a babyface comeback. Darius of Top Flight was tagged in, and he was able to take out Ortiz. He tagged in Dante, who then took out both Santana and Ortiz with a big dive on the outside. I seen somebody in the chat say, well, JR didn't say it tonight, or that nothing was mentioned about that tonight, but they did that spot anyway. No, he didn't jump onto 7 guys. He just jumped onto Ortiz and Santana. That's fine. That's fine. I don't want these dummies jumping onto 7 fucking guys just waiting there to catch him on the outside. So it wasn't done tonight, but great move nonetheless. Big dive. Trent was tagged back in as Ortiz was the legal man for the Inner Circle. Pillman then tagged Garrison in. Jericho hit Garrison in the back with Floyd, the baseball bat. Hager then hit an ugly F10. I don't know what the fuck that was. And then he tagged in MJF. MJF asked for the tag. He went right for the pin on Griff Garrison. 1, 2, 3. And MJF gloated that he got the match won for the Inner Circle. This match, Jesse, it continued whatever it needed to continue. But A, I don't know why it needed to happen. B, I hate these fucking 14, 16, 12-man matches, whatever the fuck they want to do. Too many people. The match had no energy or excitement, and it just felt very off and very flat to me. I don't know why this match needed to happen. I hate when matches are made like this just for the sake of making matches.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I really didn't like this match at all. I mean, first, usually when they do matches like this and then you say you hate them, usually I'll come on here and say, well, they accomplished more than one thing at a time. They moved this story, they moved that story, they did this. They didn't do any of that shit in this.
No.
They did none of it. I mean, it was just there to be there. But why I really hated it was they went out of, well, I won't say they, in particular, Tony Khan went out of his way to promote the hell out of this match.
Yeah.
Last week, after last week's show. So right away, I'm expecting something big. Otherwise, just put it on the show or put it as far as the regular, card lineup. But when you tweet about it and everything else and highlight it, I think something is going to happen.
Listen, this is
nothing.
This is where my frustration comes in with Tony Khan. I don't want to sit here and shit on his work because he's done a fantastic job with AEW. But I say it all the time about WWE. Matches like this don't really add to the overall flow of a show. In fact, matches like this take away from the overall flow of the show. You do not need to put everybody on the show or everybody in a match like this for the sake of getting everybody on the show or everyone in the match, okay? It's okay if guys do not appear on a weekly Dynamite episode. In fact, I would actually welcome it. Now, like Jesse said, this did nothing to advance anything. MJF, obviously, he is cocky now that he's a New York Times winner and he's got the Dynamite Diamond ring and he's pretending like he is the fucking one that's making the Inner Circle relevant again, whatever the case may be. That's one storyline there. Top Flight, they got their shine. That was great. It's good to see them doing their thing. Very, very good tag team then. And they're babies. They're not even fucking out of the womb yet, these fucking guys. And I love what they're doing already. And then it's always good to see Trent and Chucky T in the ring with Santana and Ortiz because that was one of the best tag team matches of the entire year. But outside that, there was nothing. this type of match, and again, I don't want to shit on Tony Khan, it shows that he is still somewhat inexperienced at booking these types of shows. It doesn't need to be that way. Please refrain from doing these types of matches unless it is a mega match that is a blow-off to a feud and it has elimination rules in effect. This is just plain fucking stupid. That's it. That's all I have on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe it was just a time filler. I don't know. Maybe they'll.
That's exactly what it was. Well, how are you going to follow up the last 2 weeks show with this?
Yeah.
What does this mean to everything that happened the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, the announcement of the match didn't do me anything, exciting. But I figured since he was announcing that something was going to go down, but nothing did. I'm just like, well, why?
And this match was on, I believe. I could be wrong because I've seen people tweeting about it. So I'm not sure if it happened in the same time when this match was airing. But this match went up against, I believe, Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne in a number one contenders match to see who fights Finn Balor at the New Year's Evil show. So if I'm flipping back and forth, or if I was one of those people that flip back and forth, and I seen this match and I seen that match, I'm going to stick with that match because I think those two guys probably tore the house down. Haven't watched NXT yet, but I'm guaranteeing those two guys tore the house down, and that's exactly what I want to see. And I would not be surprised because of the lackadaisical effort that was Dynamite tonight. I would not be surprised if NXT won the ratings.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me either. I mean, but again, to be honest, I hope they do. I mean, because that means they put on some kind of show that was worthy enough for a lot of people to turn on. Because right now, I don't even watch NXT anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Thunder Rosa, your favorite human being in the world besides Britt Baker. Two of your favorite people in the world, bro, were in the same segment tonight. How about that? Where were you when this momentous occasion went down tonight? What were you doing? What were you drinking? What were you eating? Was there a smile on your face? Talk to me, bro. Talk to me.
Britt Baker, I don't know why she's on TV, and I'm not scared of Thunder Rosa. Can we move on to the next segment, please?
Thunder Rosa interviewed with, what's his name, Marvez, about Dr. Britt Baker. Dr. Britt Baker, by the way. Rosa said that she's wrestled all over the world and that it was Baker's fault that she lost her NWA Women's Championship match with Serena Deeb. She started laughing at the idea that Baker said Rosa doesn't belong in AEW. Rebel then arrived and said that Rosa's laugh is terrible and don't talk about the doctor that way. And then Britt Baker attacked from behind with a vicious elbow forearm right to the back of Thunder Rosa. And then, Jesse, they poured water all over Rosa's face, smearing all of her face paint. And Baker then said, "Is this thing working?" Looking into the camera. "She's so ugly that I thought it might have malfunctioned." So there you go. Maybe Thunder Rosa might need a dentist, bro. Maybe I'll call up Thunder Rosa and get that phone number to the dental office, and maybe you can go visit Britt Baker next week.
I feel like I'm just being trolled by AEW creative at this point. Because I complained that Britt Baker sucks. Then I complained that Thunder Rosa didn't sell enough. So then they put these two in a feud. Well, now I have to watch Thunder Rosa sell for Britt fucking Baker.
Oh, you're going to see, listen. There you go, bro. She lived up to her word. She sold.
Fucking
She sold tonight. Man. Look at that. Now, you can't say shit.
Out of all the shit to fucking... She's in a match with Evilise and there's no sell away. And she gets in the ring with Britt Baker and she's fucking selling like fucking Kofi fucking Kingston, dude. I mean, what the hell, man? This should be a squash match. How is this even a feud?
Baby!
Fucking...
Moving on.
God damn it.
We got Anthony Bowens and Max Caster of the Acclaimed. They went up against SCU in a tag team match. The Acclaimed made their Dynamite debut in this match. Max Caster's gimmick is that he raps about his opponents before their matches in a very similar fashion to Thugonomics John Cena. Now, he did this with SCU tonight, and I actually LOL'd out loud about this situation. So I don't have what he wrote. I didn't write down what he was rapping about, but it was comedic and it was funny. But Kazarian, Jesse, got on the microphone and Kazarian off key a little bit, started to rap to the rap beat of the Acclaim's theme song and spit rhymes right back at Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. And I have to say, Kazarian actually did pretty damn well for himself.
Yeah, for anybody who thinks rap is easy, just look at the timing and the rhythm of Frankie Kazarian tonight, man.
You're either musically inclined or you're not. No matter what genre of music you are.
He does not have timing at all, man. He lost a beat after one bar.
Needless to say, he's a better wrestler than he is a rapper.
Entirely. Look, I like the Acclaim, man.
I think they have a nice little thing going on for themselves. I think they could be a mega heat magnet if they're in front of a live audience.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, one thing is safe to say, man. Tag team wrestling is safe in the AEW, man.
Jesus Christ. It is so safe that they could lend fucking they could lend WWE 75% of their fucking roster tag team wise and they'd still be okay.
Man, they nailed it, man. They have teams up and down the fucking roster that can be tag champs right now. Easily. It's not even like one of those, if you build these guys up, they can get there. They got all kinds of teams. You can just give them the title tomorrow and then it'll make sense. You know, what are they doing with Pride and Powerful? I mean, what are they doing with the Lucha Bros? They're getting ready to put them in the trios division. They got all of these. I mean, Jurassic Express are still titleless. I mean, they get so many different ways, and they're bringing up new tag. Like you just said, they got teams that, 15, 20 years from now could end up in the Hall of Fame. You know, the talent is there, and they're showcasing it. I mean, that's not something you get to see in other promotions. So that's a beautiful thing right there within itself.
Yeah, it's amazing how WWE. I mean, we mention this all the time. I talk about it all the time. How they just don't care about tag team wrestling. And I think Bret Hart actually was interviewed. I don't know if Bret Hart has a podcast or if he had an interview done. He mentioned something about Vince McMahon just, falling out of love with tag team wrestling and how tag team wrestling is irrelevant in WWE, how Vince just doesn't love it anymore, doesn't like it, there's no money in it. I've been hearing that for years. And then when Bret Hart actually said that, I'm like, I guess everybody that told me that specific thing because they know I love it so much and want to see it thrive in WWE. When Bret Hart said it, I'm like, I guess everybody was fucking right. It sucks. It really does. And with AEW, they have so many different routes that they can go. With Santana Ortiz, they could be tag team champions by now. But look at the depth of that roster tag team wise. You could see why they haven't been champions yet. They have so many different things that they can do with so many different tag teams that, it's just, it's almost they have the world in their hands. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Whatever they want, and it won't fail. I mean, if you're a tag team, I mean, there's not even a debate on where I'm going to go if I'm looking to go to one of these two major companies, man. I would not even think about going to WWE.
No, not at all.
I'd rather be in this pool full of tag teams and take my chances there than go to WWE.
Absolutely. Tag team wrestling. If you're a tag team out there listening to this show, I'm telling you right now, do not. This is why I think the Rascals in Impact, they went to NXT. They will not succeed past NXT, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just giving you what I watch. You want to make your money? You want to be a part of the E? God bless you. Your journey ends after NXT. Tag teams do not live there.
They live in catering.
Yeah, you'll live in catering. Titus is going to welcome you with open arms. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Moving on, man. We got SCU and the Acclaimed. This was very good. Solid match. The Acclaimed are still green. You can see that they're young. You can still see that they're green. They worked on SCU. Kazarian was able to get out of a predicament here. He got Daniels in with a hot tag. Daniels went after Bowens. Caster took out Kazarian and Daniels. Daniels was able to overcome the 2-on-1 situation here from Caster and Bowens and hit a crossbody on Bowens. Caster hit Daniels with a foreign object, and Bowens got the pin on Daniels with a nice sidewalk slam, modified slam. The Acclaimed win in 10 minutes, all while the Young Bucks were watching from ringside with the AEW tag team titles. So we got this match between the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks, I believe, Jesse. I think they announced it for next week on Dynamite after the NBA game. Is it too soon for the Acclaimed, even though they are on a winning streak and they've won 7 matches, I believe they said in a row? Is it too soon to put them into that situation? Or is this, A, how much Tony Khan believes in these guys and loves these guys right now, and he wants to get them in the ring with a top-tier tag team to see what they can do? Or is it a situation that, puts them in, they're not going to win, but almost similar to Top Flight, where they kind of had the spotlight shine on them and they look good even in defeat? What is it going to be here?
It says the Acclaim is the number 5 ranked tag team in the division.
Yeah, you're looking at that ranking right now.
Yeah.
Who's 1 through 4?
Well, no. I'm looking at the ranking that they said. I wrote down the ranking they said they were.
Oh,
they said they were number 5. I don't have the rankings in front of me, but in my notes.
You know what? I'm gonna look it up right now. AEW Tag Team Rankings. Let's see.
Because if they're number 5, and I believe they are.
Rankings as of Wednesday, December 16th. Tag team rankings. We got the Bucks, obviously the champions. FTR's number 1. The Best Friends number 2. Jurassic Express number 3. Dark Order number 4. That's Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. And the Acclaimed are number 5.
Okay, so I can think of 4 good reasons why this match should not be happening.
So it's exactly what I mentioned. It's the last thing I mentioned to you. This is Tony Khan putting them in a situation to give them that similar top flight situation to get them over in a match to see what they could do against the top tag team in the world.
Yeah, see, this is the problem I had with this and then with the main event as well. I mean, we're doing the exact same fucking thing here. I mean, if you created a ranking system and you told us that this is going to be the bridge to real stats and to real sports, but now I get the number 5 team facing the champions for the title next week. How does that make sense?
Well, and then AEW goes against this when FTR came out there and kind of belittled the commentary team and making fun of Jurassic Express. They're booking, it seems to be, they're booking FTR versus Jurassic Express, so they're booking a number 1 team against a number 3 team, which makes sense. It works within the rankings, standards, but I do agree with you. This is a very WWE-esque move. We know the Acclaimed are not winning the tag team titles, but I'm trying to think outside the box here. I don't know exactly what their mindset is. Yes, you're 100% correct. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Yes, you make sense. It's a WWE maneuver. But what I'm trying to do is think outside here as to why the Young Bucks might be doing this. And it's the end of the year. I think the rankings at the end of the year are going to be reset anyway as we go into the new year, I think. And I honestly think the Young Bucks are using Top Flight and the Acclaimed as these 2 tag teams are the 2 tag teams to look out for in the next year. And then when the rankings reset, then we'll get a better perception of what's going on here. I'm trying to think, maybe. It could be the reason. It could be.
I'll take that. Let's take that. Let's start off there. If the rankings are getting ready to reset by the end of the year, and the number 5 team is getting a tag title match next week, why isn't the number 1 team out there saying, nope, year's almost over with number 1, we want our shot right now?
Because it's FTR, and that's a big money match. The match with the Acclaimed is not a big money match.
Okay, fair enough. Let's start there then. When was the last time FTR wrestled?
They wrestled... Who did they wrestle? They wrestled SCU?
I believe it was when they lost the titles.
Possibly. I may be thinking of something else. I could have swore they were on a recent episode of Dynamite.
So, why are they number 1?
Because they're 13-1.
They lost the titles. How is it they're not the back of the line?
Normally, the way I see it, normally when you are the champion and you lose said championship, you go right back to the top 5 ranking, but you're ranked at number 1. And you have to keep that number 1 spot by winning matches against everybody that's below you.
Okay, so all right, so they say the chat is saying they wrestled last week. They wrestled the Varsity Blondes.
Yes. There you go. Thank you, chat.
So yeah, so you lose the titles, you beat the Varsity Blondes, and you're the number one contender.
They're not the number one contender yet. They didn't really say they're the number one contenders. Right now, they may be sitting in the number one spot, but they have a match that was teased tonight against Jurassic Express. So if Jurassic Express beats FTR, I believe, then Jurassic Express moves into the number one spot.
But wait, the week is over, and they are the number one ranked. How are they not the number one contender? That's literally what it means. That means before anybody else gets a title shot, we're next in line. We're the number one contenders. And since the year resets in like a couple of weeks, why am I sitting here watching somebody else get my title shot when I'm going to lose my record?
I don't think being number one in the rankings means you're the number one contender. I don't think that's the case. I just think you're the number one ranked tag team, and when the decision is made by management, then they'll appoint you as number one contender. When the match is going to be made.
Fucking point of the ranking system.
Well, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Listen, you want me to call up Thunder Rosa? Maybe she has Tony Khan's number and fucking in the Rolodex, man. I don't know.
What fucking sense does that make? And go to the main event more the same. This ranking system doesn't fucking exist.
This fucking guy over here.
It doesn't exist. How does the ranking system make sense? If Joey Janela got lucky and beat Kenny, how is he get a title shot next week?
They got to sell you on something.
What the fuck? I mean, it just makes no. Take away. Just tell me the ranking system went away so I can stop harping on it. But you told me it was real, so now I'm going to bring it up. Number one contenders mean they should be the first to get a title shot.
Listen, man, we could sit here and talk about this all. I have no idea.
See?
I have no idea.
Makes no sense. But moving on. Fuck the rankings. Serena Deeb. Let's go. Moving on.
Oh, man, Top Flight was backstage. They were interviewed and asked why they attacked Jericho and MJF. Then they challenged Jericho and MJF to a match next week. Should be interesting. Looking forward to that myself. Ivelisse and Diamante versus Big Swell and Serena Deeb. This was not good. Not good at all. Big Swell was tagged in towards the end of this thing. She worked on Diamante. Ivelisse grabbed Swell's hair. Swell hit a Tiger Driver and then a Cloverleaf submission on Diamante for the win. Serena Deeb and Big Swell win in 9 minutes. Nyla Rose came out after the match, post-match attack. Red Velvet came out with a chair to defend Swell and Deeb. So it looks like we got some 3-on-3 ladies action coming with Swole, Deeb, and Red Velvet versus Nyla Rose, Diamante, and Ivelisse. It is what it is, folks. Was not good at all. I would not recommend you go and sit through that again. We got FTR taking over the commentary with them complaining about not being featured, but Jurassic Express was. FTR then called out the Jurassic Express, saying that, or Dax Harwood said that, we really got a fucking freak in a dinosaur mask, as part of a tag team, and this is just shitting on the traditionalist mentality of FTR. Love it. Absolutely. You knew that was going to be brought up. I can't wait to see what those two teams can do.
Yeah, I caught something interesting that I think it was JR. I think JR said it. It wasn't JR, it was it was JR. He said that Serena Deeb was the best of the women in AEW because fuck Hikaru Shida. Right?
Well, I mean, I didn't really hear him say that, but again...
Well, I did. I wrote it down.
Well, I mean, he shouldn't really be putting over somebody else's champion, when Shida is there. But it is what it is, man. We could sit here and, again, discuss how wrong he is on that and how he didn't really put over who he needed to put over there. The biggest story is Big Swole is not good at all, and Diamante is fucking terrible. I'm saying that right now. She's not good. She's not good.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
She is not good, dude. Listen, no. I'm not a pro wrestler. I know good pro wrestling. I don't think Diamante is good at all. That's just me.
I disagree with that.
Some work needs to be done there. Maybe this is not the best match for me to watch, for her to showcase anything, because she's in there with, Big Swole. But
yeah,
She's not good.
Look, the match wasn't great. I mean,
the match was not good at all.
I'll give you that. I mean, but you can't. I'm Diamante. No, you can't tell me Diamante. What does Evil East suck too? She was
no. Evil East does not suck. No,
man. Neither does Diamante. It was a bad match.
We'll see. I don't know. That's just what I seen tonight.
Maybe
I'm being a little bit too harsh.
And I'm just like, okay, man, she could get better in the ring. Okay, I can see that. And you said Diamante. It's like, yeah, stop. Hold on, bro.
Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. Just wasn't a good match. Bad night for the ladies. Bad night for the ladies.
Yeah, it was a bad match. It was not a great match. That's all.
Main event: Kenny Omega versus Jelly Janela, aka Joey Janela. Stole that from Cornette. Jelly Janela. We got some news on Kenny Omega here. First of all, Kenny Omega was on Impact, and a main event was made for Hard to Kill. It is the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, and Kenny Omega versus Impact World Champion Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns in a 6-man tag. So, no champion versus champion match yet. So we'll see what happens there. But we got Kenny Omega headlining Impact's pay-per-view. Now, he will be headlining multiple Impact pay-per-views, says Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Kenny Omega was on Impact. Main event match made for Hard to Kill. Omega has teased being a belt collector and this gimmick during his Impact Wrestling appearances. He could very well, at some point, challenge Rich Swann for the Impact World title, and we all know what's going to happen there. That would certainly keep him around the company in a main event level on Axis. This is a very interesting situation, seeing that Impact could gain Kenny Omega as their world champion as well. I still beg to question what the fuck AEW gets out of this deal. I'm sticking to my guns. I think something major happens between them, Impact, them, AEW rather, Impact, AEW, and New Japan WrestleMania weekend, but I could be wrong. So Omega is set to headline multiple Impact pay-per-view shows in 2021. And as far as what we got at the end of the match, we got Rey Fenix, because we're going to go, nothing really happened in this match. Might as well just jump right to the end. Omega came out with Don Callis. Don Callis, he was very annoying to the commentary team. Jesse, I don't know if you heard the one thing that Tony Schiavone said in regards to Justin Roberts doing the Omega entrance. He went over all the accolades and he went over the ratings. You know, the highest rated show in months on Dynamite. Kenny Omega main evented that. And we got Justin Roberts saying that he brought up Impact's ratings by 30%. And then Tony Schiavone says, oh, great, lovely. Impact's wrestling audience went from 1 to 6.
To 6, yeah.
Oh, man. See, folks, I'm not the only one that shits on Impact. We had Tony Schiavone shit on Impact tonight on AEW, and it was fucking great. It was great.
That was a good spot to bury somebody. JR buried his talent on this podcast.
Tony Schiavone just buried the whole fucking company.
Yeah, Schiavone was, there you go. That's how you do it, man.
Anyway, Don Callis wanted to do commentary because obviously he loves calling Kenny Omega's matches. Tony Schiavone said, fuck off. So Don Callis took the microphone and did the Leo Rush gimmick when he was with Bobby Lashley, did the play-by-play on the live microphone. Very obnoxious, but that's what they're going for here. Kenny Omega also had a microphone. He was doing his own color commentary during this thing, but beating Janela up at the same time. So Kenny hit a Terminator dive after Janela sent him into the barricade, and Janela was seated on a chair outside with the Terminator dive being done very nicely there. Very nicely done there. Kenny then hit Janela with a cookie sheet, and then mid-match, he grabbed a microphone and started just berating Janela before hitting him with the cookie sheet. Omega hit a moonsault with the trash can onto Janela. Kenny then chopped Janela several times with the microphone right there to capture it all. Kenny then hit a springboard stomp with a trash can on Janela. In the electric chair position, we had Omega going for the one-winged angel. Janela hit a poison rana out of that to counter. Then Sonny Kiss on the outside got a table, pulled out a table from underneath the ring, set it up in the corner. Janela got Omega on the table. Janela then hit what looked to be a leg drop, but wasn't. It was more of an ass drop. He landed right on Omega's face, put Omega through the table. Janela then went up to the top rope, missed a moonsault. Omega hit 2 V-triggers, knocked him out. Janela sold it in a very silly manner, and then a one-winged angel for the win, and that was legitimately it. Heel Kenny is fucking awesome. Not at the Roman Reigns level yet, but he seems to be ascending the heights there where we'll be talking about who the best heel in wrestling is, Kenny Omega and Roman Reigns, so Roman may have some competition there. This was a fun match. I think it went the perfect amount of time. Post-match, Pac came out and said that he and Omega have unfinished business, and he lobbied for Phoenix, who was in the tournament, who never lost said tournament, to get a title shot, and then Don Callis was calling Pac out on this, and, you can't make matches. Who gave you the power to make matches? And the match was made. Pac said that Tony Khan, right before he came out here, sanctioned this match. It's going to be Rey Fenix and Kenny Omega for the World Championship, and that was the way Dynamite went off the air. Rey Fenix, news and notes on him. Scary bump last week on Dynamite, according to bodyslam.net. Obviously, he was okay. He was on the show tonight, but he knocked the back of his head on the ground, immediately grabbed his head last week. Everybody thought he had another injury, another concussion, but he got rocked, but in the end, he was okay. So clearly, he's okay. He was on the show tonight and getting a match with Omega in the coming weeks. Jesse, what'd you think of this? What do you think of this Omega belt collector thing going into the Impact show, Hard to Kill? Any more feelings on, or any different feelings, I should say, on Kenny Omega and this heel run with Don Callis? And what do you think of the match with Rey Fenix? I'm glad that they're tying up loose ends there because it had to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that match, and that was gonna be we were ready to call that one of the matches of the year. We were waiting for it.
Yeah,
but I'm wondering, why put Kenny Omega in a match like this against Joey Janela during the build-up to him being the title collector and headlining other promotions and all this important stuff he has going on?
I don't know. The match did not make sense. Janela didn't deserve the match. Janela is just not a good wrestler. He can't do anything outside the no DQ stipulation, which was the same exact stipulation as always tonight in this match. Which I don't really want to see Omega do because he doesn't have to do it. He deserves better than that. I don't even know what the world title eliminator meant in the graphic of this match. It didn't need to happen. So I agree with you there. Why this match happened, I have no fucking idea. I wish I had an answer for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I enjoy Kenny wrestling, man. I mean, more than anybody else. I mean, but it just seemed like it would have made more sense for him to just not wrestle. Do some kind of segment, a promo, something. I mean, anything than to put him in a dangerous match like this when Kenny Omega has so much on his shoulders right now, man. Why put him in a dangerous spot like this and there's not a pay-per-view or a big advertised match or something like that?
They should have had, I mean, you already sold us on the fact that he's going to be teaming with ex-Bullet Club members. Why not get Gallows and Anderson on the show? Why not get them on the show, talk about what happened on Impact? Impact's ratings, they fell pretty hard this past week. I don't know if they really promoted Omega being on the show like they did the first week, but I'm still going to say the same thing about Omega that I said last week. I honestly think Kenny Omega is going to rise to a point where he's going to be a must-see guy, and he's going to generate interest, and he's going to generate ratings for the show because of the quality of this heel run. I really do think that he's going to be able to carry this company in that way, and he's going to shut a lot of people up. I really do believe that, but something else should have been done here. A nice promo here with Callis, Omega, the Good Brothers, selling that. Maybe the Bucks come out and say something, get them involved there. Something could have been done a little bit more creatively. This was just, I'm happy for the Phoenix match, but how we got there was just a waste of time.
Yeah, pretty much. It made no sense. I mean, I would have done another match before this or something and given these guys 5, 6, 7 minutes to come out and run their mouths and have Phoenix come out and do what they did at the end of the match itself,
Yeah.
And so, but that's nitpicking. I mean, the match was, the match was cringe for me. After every big spot, I kept sitting there hoping Kenny didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I was hoping he don't get hurt. Listen, the more you put him in matches like this, it's already reported he has an injury. So every time I think of that injury and I see a match like this happen, I'm like, fuck, they're going to ruin this thing before we even get started.
Yeah. Come on, save it. I mean, if he's going to get hurt in a match, make it a high-profile match against somebody who, you can at least drop the title to in a on the fly call because Kenny got hurt. What are you gonna do if he gets hurt versus Joey Janela? You gotta cancel every fucking match Kenny has coming up.
Yeah. So the show tonight was okay. A lot of fluff. You know, it really wasn't a good effort as far as Dynamite is concerned. It built towards the coming weeks with all their holiday shows. You know, new talent was built up, returning talent to Dynamite. So it did its job, but it wasn't as exciting as what we were given the last 2 weeks. But it doesn't have to be, because we don't really expect them to have a Grand Slam show every week, but just a lot of tag team wrestling. And I just want a little bit more variety than going to that breadbasket there, the fucking tag team route. They could do a lot more than that, you know?
Yeah.
But guys, thank you for joining us here for the actual review portion of the show. If you want to hang out with us, you're more than welcome to hang out with us. We're going to go over these super chats, so get them on in, man. Super chats are open. Hit that like button, man. We are at 460 likes. Why do we have almost 1,100 people in this chat and only 461 likes, bro? Something's off there. I'm not good with numbers, but that doesn't make sense to me, man. So get those thumbs up in the chat. Hit that like button. And let's help out the show, man. Anything to help out the show. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Remember, Dr. Squatch giveaway. Leave me your Twitter handle in the comment section. And comment on any particular thing that we talked about tonight. And let me know what you loved about Dynamite. And you may be a winner of 3 bars of Dr. Squatch soap. So thank you guys for all the support. DrSquatch.com. That is code SCRIPT at checkout. And a very special shout out to my boy Jeff, who gave a nice Christmas present to the podcast this evening during the show. Thank you, Jeff. Love you, brother. Hope you are well. Hope you and your family have a great holiday season, man. Thank you so much for all your support. Let's get into the super chats, guys. We got Chemo, the therapist, $5 super chat. I was watching Dark yesterday thinking Luchasaurus is the most protected wrestler at AEW. He almost never takes any offense. Is this true, Jesse?
He takes offense. Well, I can see where that comment is coming from. If you look at their short matches, then he's always the hot tag. I can see how he doesn't take a whole lot of bumps. They do like making him look to be the stronger of the group. I didn't think about it in that way, but I can't even say that that's a false statement. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's because he can't work or doesn't want to work. It's just because the way that the matches are produced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't watch Dark, so Chemo, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. Jacob Donnelly, what's up, brother? $10 super chat. Looks like AEW is in the autopilot mode until 2021, which was expected. It's not like WWE autopilot mode. I will say Omega and Callis as a pairing is absolutely gold, and Phoenix versus Omega should be fantastic. Absolutely agree, Jacob. Thank you so much for the $10, man. Love you. Laura Conway with a $1.99. Thank you, Laura. House Music NYC $1.99. Thank you, House Music. No comments, guys. Thank you for the support, though. Francis Loot. We got a couple from Francis. He's got a $10 and a $5. He says, no quiz questions. Haha. No AEW Dark match stats. Just my support today. Absolutely epic rants on OTS 355 and Raw. Oh, yeah, man. I love that show this past week, and go and check that out. One of the best Raw rant reviews I've heard this week as well. Thank you, man. Tay Conti looking good in the ring, he says. And then he says, love the new AEW Dark Tag Team of Bear Country. I heard about these guys. They look like heavy machinery. Matt Sydal versus Ricky Starks will be a great match when it happens. Jesse, tell me about this Bear Country. What about these guys? Do they look good?
I didn't get a good look at them. I heard about them. I saw the name on the sheet and everything else, but I didn't get to that match. So.
Listen, man, every time you don't give me the answer I'm looking for, man, I'm gonna have Thunder Rosa give you another fucking submission move, all right?
Hey, man, I watched Dark, but look, don't forget, man, Dark is becoming longer than Monday Night Raw, man.
You don't want to be in that you don't want to be in that boat.
It is a lot to take in, guys. I mean, when the show goes over 2 hours, once you cross 2 hours and 15 minutes and you omit the commercials from Raw, it is literally the same length as Raw. So.
Jesus. Raw needs to be 2 hours, man. 2 hours. Wilhelm Rupenshire, $2 super chat. Jade Cargill will cause BRANDI a miscarriage. Please. No.
It's so wrong.
No. God forbid they're using this as a storyline. Louis, yeah, I hope not. Somebody mentioned that to me tonight. I hope to God. I think Jeff, my boy Jeff, mentioned it to me. He's like, God forbid they use it as a storyline.
No, fucking Salrex did it to me in fucking DMs, man.
Oh, did he?
He said
he knows.
What did he fucking say? Fucking Salrex, man. He said that, oh, Shaq was the father of BRANDI's baby.
No, that's going a little bit too far.
He went straight Vince Russo on me.
Jesus Christ. Louis Rex this, $1.99. Great work tonight, guys, like always. Wood. Thank you, Louis. Francis Loop with 3 $5 super chats. Thank you, Francis. How I would fix Raw. 1, I would buy the USA Network. 2, go to Raw. Throw my weight around and tell management who I want to see seen on TV every week. 3, it's my network. Raw doesn't comply. I will move Raw to midnight and NXT to Friday nights. 4, turn NXT Friday into NXT Dark. 5, merge my 2 shows. And last, merge 75% of NXT to Raw. Already have merged the women's rosters to my liking and left some in NXT Dark and sent the rejects to SmackDown. Bro, that's way too much right now for me.
I would buy the network and just cancel the show.
You want to know what I'd do? I'd be in charge and fire Bruce Pritchard. That's number 1. And then I'd call USA Network and I'd fucking complain to them the show needs to be 2 hours. Fuck your 3rd hour and fuck your ad revenue.
Yeah. Man, it is. Man, I would just cancel the show.
Awful. Changes are going to be made, though. Let's see what happens. We'll see what happens. Just like McMahon back in 2018 with the whole family. Oh, yeah. The show's going to be in your hands. And what happened? We went from a 2.2 then to a 1.5 now. Where did everybody go? Oh, but it's the pandemic. Oh, it's fantasy football. Oh, it's Monday Night Football. No.
Everything but creative.
Yeah, it's everything but the creative, right?
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Everything but. It's got to be something else.
Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Is Pac a face now? He was too diplomatic tonight. Yes, he is, bro. Kind of.
Yeah, he's very babyface now.
Justin Striplin with a $9.99 super chat. Hikaru Shida should take matters into her own hands and kick everyone's ass for being disrespected when she's the AEW Women's Champion. Like Jesse said, it showed when JR put Serena Deeb over instead.
Yeah, she's the most dangerous woman in the AEW locker room. She just gotta be sitting there crying, looking at her damn title. What the fuck? I'm still work here, Jim Ross. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Listen, man. Sheeta and Abaddon coming soon. I don't know. Maybe they didn't mention that tonight, so.
Yeah, good.
yeah, good. Yeah.
She was on Dark.
Yeah, keep her there.
No, Sheeta was on Dark and Abaddon came in to further that feud.
Oh, God. Great. I can't wait.
Yep.
And Stinky Toffee 12 with a $1.99 UK super chat. Watching from the UK at 5 in the morning with a heart emoji. Thank you, Stinky Toffee. Appreciate you, man. Jesse, any parting words before we get the hell out of here, man?
What do we have? Nah, man. I mean, I like the direction of where the show was going. Again, I mean, it may have looked like that, I had a lot of complaints about it, but even like in the autopilot phase of this episode, it just seemed like a lot of unnecessary, it was kind of stupid booking. I just kind of want them to stray away from that, and they can just look. A nothing show can just be matches. There's nothing wrong with having an episode of just wrestling. They have some of the best talent in the world. They can put on a 2-hour wrestling show without ridiculous booking. Just do that. Just do that, dude. That's all you gotta do.
There you go, folks. The parting words of my co-host. And we got a lot.
Tell like it is, man. Tell how it is.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Great show. Thank you for spending your Wednesday nights wherever you may be, snow or no snow with us for the Dynamite post show, man. Slow night, but It's going to be a slow night for the rest of the year because everybody's going to be celebrating the holidays. These shows usually go into autopilot mode. I'm expecting the same thing from WWE. And then we amp it right back up with the Royal Rumble. Usually the way it goes. Guys, thank you so much, man. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750. We are at 512. I don't think we're going to get 750, but let's try 750 before we get out of here, man. Hit that subscribe button down below if you have not done so. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then on Saturday for Off the Script. A couple of videos thrown in between. Twitch live streams. I'll be on Twitch tomorrow morning again, all day. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Enjoying that over there. KD Limitless with a $1 super chat. Thank you, KD. Make sure you guys check out Dr. Squatch. Giveaway happening. Leave me your Twitter handle down below in the comments and let me know what you thought of tonight's show. And you know what time it is, man. You know what time it is. Jesse and I aren't getting in the Mustang, man. We're in the hoodies at home. Mustang is covered in snow. So, my cold beverages, none tonight. No windows down. But what I want you guys to do is give me those guitar emojis and blast that volume button on your PCs. Pilots coming in. And we'll see you back here for AEW Dynamite next week on Wednesday, guys. See you later.
Uh-huh.